we learned before a few experiments lah. Okay, during our last time when we learn about Form 4 and the Form 5 chemistry. So there are a few experiments that will come out for your paper 3. Not only for your trial next week, but also for your SPM, actual SPM. So actually, we actually can spot the questions of what will come out. Because why? Because, okay, logically saying, the experiments that you do only is under 45 minutes. Okay, and then you don't have much time to wait for the results. So logically saying, they will choose the experiments that are easy to be done, experiments that need less time. So what is the possible experiments? Okay, rate of reaction or heat of reactions that you learn in the Form 5, and then let's say perhaps ask you to titrate something, something like that. So those that logically saying that under 45 minutes you can do, those are the types of question that will come out usually. Alright, so let's begin. Okay, so you will get exactly like this kind of format of paper. Don't worry, I will send this paper afterwards with the answers to you all. You will get this kind of paper for your paper 3 exam, SPM. And then the first page, they will tell you to tick, okay? You 打勾，你打勾在你有的 materials. Why? Please remember, in the first 5 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, because I don't remember already about this exam, like they will give you few minutes for you to check all your apparatus and materials, and for you to check the exam paper whether there's missing pages or not. Okay, so first thing you have to do is you check whether what they wanted to use, apparatus and materials, all do you have or not. If all you have, then you just tick. You must show that you tick. Don't say that, oh, I know that the thing already there, so I don't have to tick. No, you must tick also. Okay. Alright, so this is the first step. You check whether or not everything you have. Alright, then they will ask you to check, and then ask you to cover back the paper. You have to wait because they want to selaraskan. Can you rotate the screen? Can't see the screen. Oh, really? What do you mean can't see the screen? Can anyone else see the screen? Can, right? Yeah, can. Because I'm using my laptop here also. I'm looking at the screen also. Okay, thank you. Alright, so first thing, you check all the apparatus whether you have it or not. What happens if you don't have? You straight away raise your hand. Say what do you don't have. Or if you think that your apparatus or material got something like rosak, if 你的那个材料或者什么你觉得要碎了要破了等等的，你也是举手。你不要怕他给你收钱，因为他已经准备给你了的。如果是碎的话，代表是那个人准备到还没有看到。为什么？因为我怕如果碎了。using PC Okay. So first step, you have to check all your apparatus and materials. So what happens if you are missing few apparatus or materials, or like let's say tak cukup, or maybe dah nak rosak, you straight away raise your hand, say that, oh okay, I don't have this, or this thing is like almost want to rosak. Then they will change it for you. Because any a little bit of defection, kerosakan sedikit, they will produce a very large difference in your experiment result later. And then you must know that, no, your results don't have to be exactly with the schema, but it must be logical. Okay, so first step you check lah. Okay, then once you check finish, they will ask you to cover your paper. So in this period of time, when they ask you to cover your paper, what do? From the apparatus and material that you saw, you try to think of what experiments that are possible, because you cannot read through the procedure, Okay, like our year, they gave us guided experiment. They give us our procedure. 可是我不知道，可能你们今年就没有 procedure 了，你要自己 plan 那个 experiment 所以很危险的就是这个。那么呢，你要怎么样去准备自己？你看了它的那个 apparatus 跟 material， 你发现到它用到什么，然后你去想，有什么 experiment 是用到这些东西的。Okay, we see stopwatch, sodium thiosulfate, sulfuric acid, thermometer, white paper, measuring cylinder, okay, conical flask, Bunsen burner, wire gauze and the match. When I see sodium thiosulfate, 我会想到什么 experiment？ 你的 Form 4 Chapter 7 Rate of Reaction. Do you remember the experiment where you do the sodium thiosulfate, you mix in the conical flask and then you have to calculate the number of time that the X mark gone. 你记得这个 experiment 吗？所以如果你要去准备自己 for your paper 3， 你要怎么去准备？ You read through every experiment and the possible results. Don't memorize, you understand the results. And then whenever you see the apparatus and material, right? So I see, oh, sodium thiosulfate. There is only one experiment that we use sodium thiosulfate in the Form 4, which is the X mark experiment. 我去搅那个 sodium thiosulfate, and then 我去计算那个时间用到多久来消除掉那个 X mark. Okay? So next, then they will give you the procedure. Shows the apparatus setup for experiment 1, 2 and 3 to investigate the effect of temperature on the rate of reaction between sodium thiosulfate and sulfuric acid. 50 cm cube of 0.1 mole decimeter cube of sodium thiosulfate is poured into a conical flask and is heated to 35 degrees. 5 cm cube of 2 mole of sulfuric acid is added immediately to the sodium thiosulfate. The conical flask is then placed on the paper with X as shown in diagram 1.1. The time taken for the mark X to disappear from sight is recorded. Complete table 1 to record the stopwatch time reading for the invisible X mark. Then calculate time. Then calculate what? 1 over time for all the readings. Okay. So here, you know that your manipulated variable is the temperature. If I don't see the question, what can I check from the procedure? 你一定要读清楚题目 because question will give you some hints regarding what you have to do. Okay, like this one. They give you the apparatus setup and then there are 3 experiments that you need to do. Okay? Investigate what? Effect of temperature on the rate of reaction. So I know that the thing that I will change is the temperature. So immediately I know that temperature is my manipulated variable. 跟你的 physics 一样罢了的。从题目我们可以知道。So temperature is your manipulated variable. Okay, next. Rate of reaction 就是你的 time 咯。Because we cannot observe rate of reaction, but we can observe the time taken. So this will be your RV. Okay. Then what they said, 50 cm cube of 0.1 mole per decimeter cube of sodium sulfate is poured in conical flask and heated. 2. Meaning that you must use what they give you now. Wire gauze, Bunsen burner. You have to heat the sodium thiosulfate. And then, read the question. 5 cm cube of 2 mole per decimeter cube of sulfuric acid is added, okay, immediately to the sodium thiosulfate solution. The conical flask is then placed on the paper with X as shown in diagram 1.1. The time taken for the X mark to disappear is recorded. So you can see that this one is obviously our responding variable. Time taken for mark X to disappear. This is what we need to observe. 1. 第一个我要改变的是 solution 的 temperature。第二个我要计算或者我要检查或者我要 observe 的东西是使用到的时间 so that 这个 X 会不见掉。Okay? So from the question we already know this thing. Okay, 请问 what is the constant variable if they ask you? 你要记得 like physics, constant variable 一定要是可以算到的 can be measured. So from this statement, from this question, can you all share to me what is the constant variable? Just share in the chat box. Concentration of sulfuric acid. Okay. Besides concentration, what else? Nah, 没有人回答了啊。ada 50 lebih kat sini. Seorang je kan jawab. 等下 who knows leh, 下个星期要出 constant. Yes, good. Volume. So you can see from the question that there are two things fixed: the volume and the molarity of the sulfuric acid. Okay. 那么你要怎么样知道是 molarity？ 我们少用 concentration， 我们用 molarity 比较正确哦 ，because it's mole per decimeter cube. Okay. So from the question, you can get MV, RV, and constant variable. Okay, this is the apparatus setup. Alright. Then A. Complete table 1 to record the stopwatch time reading for the invisible X mark. And then, you calculate the 1 over time for all the readings. Okay. 为什么我们要 calculate 1 over time? Same like your physics also. For the rate of reaction, 我们要 calculate 1 over time. Okay. So here. Time taken for the X mark to disappear. Alright. On your stopwatch, 你最多就可以量到 second 它的那个 decimal place 是多少？最小的那个是 0.1， 对不对？ 0.1 second. Unless your stopwatch can until 0.01 lah. Okay? But usually no, 0.1 second. So, you must follow this one. Same like your physics. Physics 你是不是要看它的那个最小的那个 interval， 最小的那个 number 嘛？例如一个长尺，你最小都可以量到 0.1 的那个距离。那么你要跟着那个 measurement 写你的答案。Example you will get like 9.5, 6.8, then 4.6. Okay, example, if I say here is not 4.6, here is 4 only. If you write 4 only, you won't get mark for your result. Because I know that the smallest interval is 0.1. So I must at least write 4.0. But here we use 4.6 lah. Alright, so remember when you observe the value of something or you measure something, 你要先确保什么是它的 smallest interval。这个你上了大学你也是会很注意这个东西，它很注意这个东西。Like temperature， 你用 thermometer 最小的那个 interval 是 0.1 degree Celsius。Okay， let's say what about burette？ burette 的话是 0.01， 这个是最小的。所以当你写你的 data， 你要写 9.50 或 9.23， 你要写2个 decimal place。所以不是讲全部都是一律要2个 decimal place。 No， you must follow your measuring apparatus. Okay， and then 1 over time 的话，你就 calculate use calculator. Don't have to show your calculation. Okay， so 0.11。Okay， 然后这里就发生了事情。为什么这里我们拿2个 decimal place？ 因为它是 calculation. When it comes to calculation, we usually take 2 decimal places. Okay, calculation. Alright, so this is the answer. So you see like this you get 6 marks already. 可是请问如果你的 value 啦 example 这里是 8.6 你算到，这里可能来 5.7， 那这里可能是 3.2， 请问你可以拿到分吗？也是可以。为什么？你要记得 in experiment 没有2个人的 experiment 是一模一样 values 的。如果是一模一样的话，可能那个真的是巧所以只要你的 value is logic, then we can give you mark. That is what I know from last year. If your value is logic and then 符合那个 theory, you must remember your values must apply to your theory. We know that the theory here is what? Higher temperature, our rate of reaction is higher. When our rate of reaction higher, meaning that the time taken will be less, 因为它比较快 react. So meaning that, logically saying, when my temperature increase like this, right, my time also would be decrease. My time would decrease. 为什么？因为 temperature 越高，我的 time of reaction should be less. So example, if you get here 8.7, right, then suddenly you say here 8.8, 9.0, then suddenly you get 5.6. Okay, like this, your data cannot have mark because it's not logic. So what happens if you really cannot get the answer? It's either if you have time, you redo, but don't redo straight away. You do the other question first, or you memorize the data. or you agak-agak put the data secara logic. Like here 我知道8.7跟5.6要之间一个号码，所以可能我就随便丢一个号码哦6.5 OK as long as it logic. Okay, but best is you follow your data 啦 usually data 不会错的啦，因为你的 experiment 都是比较简单的，好像我那一年的是 rate of reaction 啊，他叫我们量 sodium iodide 好像是sodium iodide 它的那个时间 and then sketch the graph. Okay, so this is your theory. So from your theory, your answer must be logical. Okay, so how do you get the marks? 2 marks here, 2 marks here, 2 marks here. Then total 6 marks. So 6 marks 就这样子拿来了，15分里面你已经有6分。Okay. Alright, so next. Based on the data obtained in table 1, plot a graph 1 over time against temperature. Okay, 你看到题目不要急着画先，你先跟自己讲清楚，哪一个是你的 y axis? Y axis is this one 哦，1 over time. X is your temperature， 因为 temperature 是改变的嘛，对不对 ？Okay, so on your graph， okay, 这个 graph 的话，我没有办法啦我要这样子 vertical。Okay， 怎么样 plot 你的 graph？ Alright, first thing first， 我们的 graph 有 criteria 的。Okay, what is the criteria? Okay, the criteria is like this. 1, you must label. Okay, I draw with you all lah. So you all, if want to draw also can. Okay, first draw your y-axis and your x-axis. Okay, 你不要管它啦 ，is it cantik or not？ 你画到最大个的就对了。好像我那一年哦，我是直接画到大个的，整个 graph 我都画下去。Okay, then you label. What is your y-axis? Just now we know that y-axis is 1 over time. Wait 1 over time against temperature. Okay, so should be y against x, right? Okay, y against x. Alright. So 1 over time. Let's say like this lah, 1 over time here. Okay, and then what is the unit for 1 over time? Is per second. Okay, then what is your x-axis? Kan saya against temperature. Okay, plotkan graph ni melawan suhu. Okay, so temperature is your y, is your x. So here would be temperature. And then what is your unit for the temperature? You is degree Celsius. Okay, but even better if you write temperature of sodium thiosulfate， 因为你要 hit 的是 sodium thiosulfate 嘛， so temperature let's say of sodium thiosulfate. Okay, what is the unit? Degree Celsius. Then just now 1 over time unit per second. Okay, you already got mark for your labeling. Okay, then don't forget label 0 here. Okay, you must label lah your origin. Okay, then we plot the values. Okay, so for temperature, just now is 35, 40, 50. So I know 我可以跟着5这样的 interval， 对不对？ Okay, so 5这样的 interval， 所以我可以 label 这里10、20、30、40. Okay, I label like this. So we know that the highest one is what? 50, right? Okay, so perhaps if you don't want to do like this, you can terbalikkan，看你的那个 graph paper 的 space。来这里哦，我不够 space 嘛，对不对？ So actually I can change the temperature over here, time at down there, as long as you get the same graph 啦。Okay, like for here 的话 ，okay 可能 like 不够位嘛，所以我们可能简短它咯。Okay, never mind, we just do 40, and then here would be 50. Okay, 50. And then maybe you can extend the arrow. Okay, 看着你的那个graph size. Okay, 你不一定要这里写的 you can also terbalik and then write like this. Okay, temperature like that also can. Alright, as long as you label. Then next, what is the 1 over time？ 刚才我们的 1 over time 0.11、0.15、0.22，所以我们可以用0.05的那种 measurement。Okay, so 0.05、0.10、0.15、0.20、0.25。Okay, then we plot the values. So how do we plot the values？ 通常啦，你们不是来一个钉在上面吗？知道吗 ？This paper 它已经弄成一个 booklet 给你，所以你不能撕纸出来的。那么你要怎么样？你没有办法，你要 scroll 回去上一页，然后再看下一页，这样 plot。Okay, so here we know that 35 degree is 0.11. Okay, so 35 degrees here 0.11. Okay, around let's say where is it 0.11. Perhaps okay， 你要先数咯 interval 是多少？这里有10个吗 ？0.05 除10是多少 ？0.05 除10 ，okay， 0.005 ，meaning that 一个格子是0.005。这个你要让自己知道 ，because this one is the scale that you have set. Okay, this one is the scale that you have set. Alright, so 0.005，那么35度0.1005。0.110 okay, so here is the agak-agak lah, agak-agak pa lah but 当你拿到真正的 graph paper you must follow the exact one, you know. Okay, 不可以 agak-agak, but here 因为我看不清楚，所以我 agak-agak 0.105 0.11 okay, so around here. Okay, here is my x 第一个 point. 第二个 point 40 and 0.15 okay, 40 0.15 okay, 直接 label 上去 and then last 50 0.22 50 0.22 okay, 21 0 5 1 then 22 okay, 22 here okay, 0.22 here okay, then what do you do？ 因为你只有3个 point 嘛，对不对？刚才3个 point， so you use你要找 best fit line. Same like physics, you must find the best fit line. 那么 best fit line 怎么样找 ？Okay, first you draw a straight line. 可以 straight line 嘛 ？Okay, cannot. So you check 咯 ，where is the best fit line？ Okay, 我移。Okay, 可能这里不能哦，不能，因为2个在下面。then 这样的话呢？哦，2个连着，一个在上面。then 我就移过来一点咯。这样子也不能一个在上面，一个在下面，2个在下面，所以我觉得 best fit 就是这样子。For chemistry 我们没有这样讲很准确的 best fit 啦 for physics. As long as 我看到OK， 你有2个 point， 至少2个 point 是连着的，因为我们要找 gradient in case right. Okay, so this will be your answer. Okay, you can notice that what happened is that 这个 graph 它不会碰到那个 zero 的，它只会飘这样子。So this is your graph. 好像我的去年我的 graph 去年是这样子的，大个我们的 graph， 我的 graph 是大个的 ，and then 只是一个小小的弯在上面这样子罢了。老实讲是对的 ，this is correct because from what your graph has， 你从你的那个 data， 你画出来那个 graph 就对了 ，OK？ 主要的是你有标上去你刚才有的那3个 data，and then 你有画 best fit line，then 你就有分了。Okay, how do we give mark for this? First, your scale, okay, your axis, y-axis, x-axis, correct, with unit, label with unit. Okay, 第二个，你的 scale 是有规律的，例如这里 0.05 你这里 0.10， 不可以这里来突然 0.15 not seragam. Okay, you must have uniform scale. 那么请问 x 跟 y axis 可以有不一样的 scale 吗？可以 but as long as x axis 所有的 value 是 uniform， y axis 所有的 unit 是所有的 value 是 uniform. Okay, that one is the second mark. Your scale and your size. The size of the graph must be larger than 50% of your graph paper. Okay, this one is physics also same lah, bio also same lah. Size must be larger than 50% of your graph paper. So you see here, my graph is the whole graph paper already. Can already. Okay, and then all the points you have plotted correctly. Okay, so
all points plotted correctly. Okay, then you get another mark. Okay, and then lastly, the best fit line. Your best fit line, you get another mark. So how many marks here? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why how you get 4 marks. Okay, 1 mark is x axis, y axis. 只要你 label 对啊，跟那个 unit 你 label 对的话，你已经有1分了。所以如果你的 data 真的是画不出来一个 graph 怎么办？你标上去 y axis, x axis, and then 你标上去这些 values。Show that you have the skill， 你就有2分。那么第3分怎么样呢？就算你的 data 是错的话，你都标你的 point 上去。如果你没有时间，标上去罢了。Because you get mark from the points that you put。And then 更好的是，你可以找到 best fit line。Because as I said, not everyone can do the experiment correctly. So you be honest to yourself. You just plot everything that you got, then you draw the best fit saja. Who knows they will give you mark because of your graph. Like 我现在啊 foundation， 那天我们做那个 rate of reaction of sodium iodide， 它应该是 like 上去 and then constant 的嘛，对不对？ But 我的没有，我的 graph 是上下，然后再上，然后再下，然后再上，好像那个什么 frequency polygon。 Yes 啦 of course 啦，我的 lecturer 有笑我啦， but 他讲是 normal 的。 Because when we do experiment, there are a lot of factors. 第一个是 human error. So if you do not get your desired value, what do you do? Still continue do your graph. Y axis, x axis with label. Scale must be uniform. You plot all your data on the graph. Don't care lah, correct or not. Then draw best fit. If the examiner or the marker is okay, then they will just give you 4 marks. Because 主要的是我们要看你会不会画 graph. Alright, so this is the techniques lah. Alright. So, faham lah? I hope faham lah kan? Okay. There we see the question. Oh, state the relationship between temperature and time. Okay. Whenever it is relationship, you don't go and say like, oh, like for physics you got directly proportional inversely 嘛。 Like physics 你一定要跟着 graph 去 interpret. But for chemistry, when they say relationship, 你就想到the higher the MV, the higher the higher or lower the RV. 在这里我知道 that from my graph, okay, from my graph, 或者不要看 graph 也可以 from my table. As 我的 temperature 增加 what happened to my time taken? They will become shorter. So my answer straight away I can write the higher the temperature. Okay, 温度越高 what happened to the time taken? The shorter the time taken for mark X to disappear. Okay, this is your answer. You get 1 mark just like that. So that's why I said from the question just now, statement, you can know the MV and the RV. So why do you need to know this MV and RV? 就是因为要让你知道怎么样写 relationship. Relationship 谁是 MV, 谁是那个 RV. Okay? Next. Determine the time taken for the X mark to no longer appear if the temperature of the sodium thiosulfate is 45 degrees Celsius on the graph that has been drawn. 题目要你什么？ Time taken for it to disappear if the temperature is 45 degrees Celsius on the graph that has been drawn. Then you get 2 marks. Okay, how do you get 2 marks here? It is not by calculation. You cannot calculate anything. It is through first one. You learn in physics, interpolation, or you extrapolate the graph. Okay. Second, you just observe the value. Okay, what does it mean by interpolation? Okay, you see, go back to the graph. They said they want 45 degree, right? Okay, 所以我在 45 degree Celsius 那边画一个直线，不要画直线啦，画虚线 dotted lines. But here I have to draw solid line lah, because if dotted then later very ugly. Okay, then 我再从那个点我画过去。Okay, so My point is 哪里？你可以看到吗？那个交叉点。Okay, here. This is the value that I want. Okay. 所以我就去看哦，这条线，看啊，这条直线。Okay, 它碰到哪里 ？What is the what is the temperature here or the volume? Okay, the time taken. So you count 咯 ，0.15， 你一个一个去加。刚才是多少？0.005嘛，对不对？给你加。加 okay 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 then 11 12 okay you will get 0.21 macam tak betul kan. Okay, how? Okay, from here come give me your answer. 你拿到多少 from this straight line? 我要你数 tell me your value. What is the value of the time taken? 你数。Anyone can find out answer? Should be divide 20 lah here. Okay, divide 20. .0.005才对，它的 scale. Okay, 0.18. Okay, let's see ah. 0.15. Okay, 0.00. We add one by one. Okay, good. So that is the time taken. Okay, 那么呢，你画了，你一定要记得啊，红色这条线你一定要画，用虚线。Okay, must use dotted line to draw this one because it will give mark for your interpolation. And then even better, you label on the graph there. 刚才你拿到多少？45 degree 你拿到0.18。Okay. Then how you want to know 一个格子是多少？那刚才我们看0.05是10格加10格，所以总共有20格。所以这20格你就拿0.005除20咯，你会拿到0.0025是一个格子，然后你就一个一个加上去。Alright. So this one you must show this red line here. This one is your interpolation. You get 1 mark. And then after that, what do? You just write咯. Okay, the time taken is 0.18. Okay, is this answer correct or not? You all tell me, correct or not? I want to know. Come on guys, jawab dalam chat. Is this answer correct or wrong? 0.18 second is the time taken. You just say that you think correct, then you write correct. If you think wrong, then you write wrong. 一个人罢了啊 Walau weh. Okay, wrong. Sama. No, the graph is per second. Okay, good. Just now 我们虽然是找到0.18 but 你要记得0.18是什么 1 over t. Okay, so you need to show your calculation here lah. 0.18 is 1 over t. So t will be 1除0.18，拿到5.6。为什么我拿一个 decimal place？ 因为它是 time。Okay, 5.6 then don't forget final unit 一定要。So this is your answer. 所以你这样子，你有1分 and then another mark you get from your interpolation 这条线。所以记得啊，一定要 show on the graph。为什么？ Because the question got stated based on the graph that has been drawn， 就是 based on 你的 graph。 Whenever 他讲 based on your graph， 代表你一定要在那个 graph 做一点东西。做什么？就是你要画这个虚线。 虚线来 show 出来你拿到的 value 是什么。So your answer is 5.6 seconds。0.18记得是 1 over t 罢了。所以 that's why I said you must be clear， 你一定要清楚知道你的 y axis label 的是什么 ，x axis label 的是什么。不是一讲哦 ，OK， 刚才我拿到0.18，那个就是我的答案啊 ，No， 为什么不可以嘞？OK，logically thinking 啦，你讲哦45度，我拿到0.18 second， 你觉得 logic 吗 ？Not logic， 为什么？因为刚才哦40度6.8。50度4.6，哪里这样快可以0.18 second 出来？看到吗？你的 answer of for this paper 3 must be logic 的，一定是 logic。所以当你看到你的答案写0.18 second， 你觉得好像好像不对哦，代表你有东西你忘记了。那么刚才呢，很多人忘记就是1 over t 啊，0.18是1 over t，so your t is actually 5.6 second。Then you get 2 marks. Okay, next. Predict the rate of reaction at 60 degrees Celsius on the graph. Okay, on the graph, okay, we see on the graph. We know that 它们上去是一个规律的方法上去。那么刚才50度，它已经用了多少？0.22 4.6 second. Okay, so now I need to think what is the rate of reaction if it is 60 degree？ 它一定是低过 4.6 咯，对不对？因为更快嘛。OK， 那么我要怎么样去 determine？ 我们看到哦 0.11 它去 0.15 它增加多少？增加 around like 0.04 OK， here they like add 0.04 around 0.15 加0.22 减 0.15 等于多少？ 0.07。Okay, so you can see the pattern， 它来增加 0.03。那么哦，它现在叫你 predict， meaning that your value as long as it's the time of rate of reaction is faster than 50就可以了。其实这个1 over time 是什么东西来的？就是它的 rate of reaction 来的。你看它的 rate of reaction 越来越增加，越来越快。OK， so 我现在知道是加 0.03， 所以 agak-agak 啦。我的 graph 应该会拿到什么 ？0.22 加 0.10， 所以 agak-agak 是来 0.32。可是哦，你就会开始问了，好像差别有点太大，那么怎么办？我们不要用这个方法，因为很危险。我们用 graph， 你刚刚画的 graph， 给你觉得60，你看到啊还会增加这样，所以大概它的60大概在哪里？可能是来 up here，OK？所以这个 graph yes 你还是有分啊这个 graph， but 你会发现到哦，哎呀老师它好像太挤了哦，太远了，我找不到那个60度怎么办？你可以教那个人给你多一张 graph paper， but don't worry about that， there will always be an extra graph paper at the end of the booklet， 最后一页会有多一张的 graph paper 已经订好给你了的，那个就是给你重新画过一个 graph啊，好像这个 graph 我 determine 不到60度是多少哦，怎么办？我就重画一个 graph 哦，我就可能改我的 x axis， OK， 或者是哦，你可以做什么？你可以把那个 time 换来这里的吗 ？OK，and then 你可以把那个 temperature 换去长的那个部分 ，it's the same thing also。Alright， so like here the answer given will be around 0.275 per second. This is the rate of reaction. Okay, then 你要怎么样 explain your answer? The higher， 我重复那个 relationship. The higher the temperature, what happened to the rate of reaction? The higher the rate of reaction. This is your explanation. 看到吗？ In chemistry, when you explain what data you observe, right, is actually related to the relationship. 刚才我知道这个是1分 okay, 0.275 per second. Okay, and then now here you get 1 mark already. Then another mark where you get, you explain your answer. when the temperature increase or the rate of reaction also increase， 或者是 the higher the temperature, the higher the rate of reaction. You get 2 marks there. 所以几分啊？这里15 9 then 15分就在你手上了。所以其实 paper 3 is for you to score. Okay? 所以 don't worry. You don't have to be exactly like the theory, like chemical theory. But as long your values, your data, your answer is logic. Logic 跟着那个 theory， 但是没有讲你的 values 一定一模一样跟那个课本没有，那个是很难做到的，除非你是背着那个课本的 experiment data 进去那个考场啊，这样子就很难。Okay? So, I think that's about it. Okay, then I want to talk about how you want to write operational definition. Okay, example. This one, this experiment Okay, can you tell me what do you do? Okay, you must remember operational definition. 什么是 operational definition? Operational definition 跟 definition 不一样啊。Definition 是那个东西的那个意思。But operational definition, because of the word operational, meaning you must write 2 things. 第一个 what you observe. 你看到什么东西 after 你做 And then 第二个 what did you do. Okay, this one is how you want to answer operational definition. 只要你记得 operational definition 有这两个 points 你一定可以拿到分了。Okay, example, this experiment. Okay, I want you all to tell me what do you observe. 你 observe 什么你 observe 什么东西？Hello， 刚才你 observe 什么 ？Solution become cloudy. Okay, 什么？你要 relate with your responding variable. Okay, this is another tip. Operational definition, you can relate to the responding variable and the manipulated variable. Okay, what you observe? Okay, observe 我要 relate to responding variable. 怎么样去 relate to responding variable? X disappear. Okay, 还不完整。我要更准确的。我们刚才记录的是什么东西？我们只是看 X disappear 吗？没有吗？我们还有记录什么？我们的 responding variable, what is our responding variable? The time taken for the X to disappear. That one is what we observe. So what did you do? What did you do? May I ask? 你做了什么在这个 experiment? Look back at the question. 5 cm cube of 2 mole per decimeter cube of sulfuric acid is added to the sodium thiosulfate. That is what you do. So, maybe I will add this question. Okay. What is the operational definition of rate of reaction in this experiment? 看到吗？ They said operational definition. So if you were to write rate of reaction is the amount of product produced in a certain time. Okay, 那个是 textbook. You won't get mark because that one is definition. 那么你要怎么样写 operational definition? Okay, 你一定要写 what you observe. Okay, what you observe. 所以你这样子写 rate of. Okay, 我不要写在这里啊，我写在下面这里。Rate of reaction can be defined operationally as 什么 what you observe, the time taken for X mark to disappear. What did you do when sulfuric acid is added to the sodium thiosulfate solution. Kan Amah? This is your answer. Senang je kan? What did you observe and what did you do? That's it. Okay, this is your answer for operational definition. So, I highlight here lah. Time taken for X mark to disappear. This one is what you observe. Okay, what you observe. Sulfuric acid is added to the sodium thiosulfate solution. This is what you do. Okay, so this one is what you observe. This one is what you do. Okay, and then you 可以加这个字，你可以背这个字 the word when. Okay, when the whole meaning is what you do. Okay, so this is your answer. Rate of reaction can be defined operationally as the time taken for X mark to disappear. What you do when sulfuric acid is added to the sodium thiosulfate solution. That's it. Kan Amah? So easy. So remember, ulun semua experiment, if they ask you for operational definition, you remember two things. What did you observe? Okay, 你看到什么，或者你闻到什么 and then what did you do means 你做了什么。Okay, example, I give another example. What is the operational definition? Okay, operational definition of endpoint. Okay, endpoint. Okay, 你背的 definition of endpoint. Endpoint is the point where all alkali have completely reacted with all acid, or we can say all hydrogen ion have completely reacted with all hydroxide ion to form water. 这个是你背的 definition. But now I want operational definition of endpoint. So we know what is the apparatus setup. Oh, we got burette. Okay, burette here. Okay, here burette. Okay, agak-agak lah ha, 这个是burette lah ha. Okay, burette. Then I have a not this one lah. It's a conical flask. Okay, conical flask. Conical flask 里面的是 pink color solution. 为什么？因为是 phenolphthalein 加那个 alkali. Okay, this one is pink color, right? Alright. And then what is inside the burette? Burette is acid. Okay. And then what did you do? 你开那个管，你给它滴进去那个 solution， 对不对？ So, what did you observe at the end point? 请问 you answer me? 你看到什么在那个 end point 的时候？你看到 pink color 会 change to 什么？ cepat. Kalau nak cepat habis, kita cepat habiskan. Pink turn to colorless. Yes. 你要去读回去啊。That's why I said, actually paper 3它有你的 theory. If you don't have theory, you also cannot answer. So good. End point means the pink color solution change to colorless. That is what you observe. And then what did you do? The acid is dropped into the alkali solution accurately. So what is the operational definition of endpoint? Okay, endpoint can be defined operationally as what? As the point where pink solution turns colorless. This one is what you observe when acid 你给那个 acid 的名字啦 is drop 不要讲 drop 啦，我们用 titrated accurately into the 什么 alkali 的 solution。 看到吗？我没有背那个课本的 definition， 因为这个是 based on my experiment. What did I observe? What did you see? Pink solution turn colorless. This is what you observe. What did you do? Acid is titrated accurately into the alkali solution. So contoh, if I give you acid here is H2SO4. and then the alkali will be NaOH. Okay, what do you write? Endpoint can be defined operationally as the point where pink solution turns colorless when sulfuric acid is titrated accurately into the sodium hydroxide solution. That is your answer. Kan apa? This is what it means by operational definition. What you observe and what do you do to get the observation. Okay. And then like 还有什么 observation 呢？ example. You do the heat of reaction, exothermic reaction. Can I use add instead titrated? Can also. Acid is added accurately. But usually we use titrated lah because this process we call as titration mah. So more accurate lah. Titrated accurately. Okay, add also can. Okay, but don't say lah pour. 我们没有倒那个 acid 进去，我们是一滴一滴的，所以我们用 titrated. Okay, so another example. What is the operational definition of exothermic reaction? Okay, and then you do the what? Heat of displacement, whereby 你在 copper 2 sulfate 的 solution 你倒一个 metal 进去 and then 你去量它的那个温度计嘛，会提高，对不对？ Okay, 所以你 observe 到什么？What do you observe? Okay, 我画不出，如果我没有画的话你一定听不懂的。 Okay, 你做那个 experiment 我不懂你没有做过啦。你有一个 beaker 嘛， and then 你包着那个 beaker with 那个cotton wool， 对不对？ Okay, and then 你有一个 thermometer contoh lah ni thermometer lah. Okay, thermometer thermometer. Okay, and then 你有 solution， contoh CuSO4， and then 你加 metal 进去。 Okay, very reactive metal. Okay, 想 reactive metal. Okay, 你要 observe 的是什么？ Okay, you guys answer me. 你要观察的是什么东西？ Hello， 你要观察的是 temperature change， 可是你可以观察到 temperature change 吗？ You cannot。 你可以观察到什么？ thermometer 的增加，对不对？ The increase in the temperature. So I can say that, okay, my answer can be what? Exothermic reaction can be defined operationally. 你看到吗？我的开头一定是一样的。 As the increase in temperature on the thermometer reading. This one is what you observe, right? 你看到的是什么？你做什么？ When Okay, then 你写咯那个 reactive metal. Example 我讲是 magnesium 啦。 When magnesium powder was added into copper 2 sulfate solution. 看到吗？ This one is what I see and what I do. 我看到什么？我看到的是 increase in temperature on the thermometer reading. 这个是我看到的，我 observe 到的 what you observe. And then 你做了什么？ When the magnesium powder added into CuSO4 solution. This is what I did. What I do. So 看到吗？ Operational definition 就是这样罢了。 Okay, so whenever you have operational definition, you don't 你不要紧张，因为只要你清楚知道你应该 observe 什么 and then 你做了什么东西 then 你就没有问题了。 Okay, it's the same thing. Okay, so here example I will put below here lah. Okay, operational definition. Alright, so sebenarnya dia senang saja, 所以不要这样紧张啦 for 你的 next week 的 amali. Because who knows if they came out operational definition. Okay, so you just relax. Okay, follow what I taught you. Okay, what you do and what you observe. 你要先写 what you observe first. 你看到什么东西 and then 你跟我讲你做了什么东西。 Okay, alright, so I think that's about it. So let's recap. How do you get marks? First thing, for your data, as long as it's logic, then okay. And then second thing, 你要注意它的那个 smallest interval， 就是它的差别最小是多少。例如 thermometer 最小我可以量到0.1度，所以我的 data 只可以一定要有一个 decimal place。给 example， if I use a long ruler， 我去计算一个长度的话 ，long ruler 只可以量到0.1， 代表我的 data 也是 like example 19.3 cm 啊 ，something like that。要跟着那个 measuring apparatus，OK？And then if calculation, we take 2 decimal place or 4 decimal place, but usually take 2 lah for graph. Same like your MX 也是拿2个罢了嘛，对不对？2 decimal place. Okay, and then you must make sure when you plot your graph, you must confirm which one is the y-axis and the x-axis first. Then only you draw. Okay, what happen if you draw already and then you feel like, 哎呦，我好像画错了，你举手跟老师拿新的 graph paper。如果老师有的话，还会给你，所以不用怕 ，OK？ 可是你不要特地去画错啦 ，OK？ 来特地一直浪费纸 ，alright？ And then make sure your graph 怎么样拿到满分 ？Y-axis ada， X-axis ada， OK？ 一分。第二，你的 scale for Y-axis 一定要 uniform，scale for X-axis 一定要 uniform。可是两个 X and Y 可以不一样的 scale 吗？可以 ，up to you。But as long as x 里面全部都是一样，如果你 x 你放0.5是一个，那么你就要放1、1.5、2、2.5，你不可以放0.5，那突然0.7，然后0.8，给到，你一定要 uniform， 那个是第2分。第3分怎么拿来 ？You plot your data correctly on the graph paper, okay? Plot correctly, and then lastly, your best fit line will award you the 4th mark. Alright, this is the technique for graph. Okay, then whenever they ask for relationship, you just follow your theory. The higher the what, the higher or lower the what， 就是这样罢了。Follow the theory， 所以你的 theory 一定要有。Okay, then for this kind of question, where they ask you to determine the value, must remember 一定要在你的 graph 那边画出来那个 dotted line。你一定要画那个 dotted line。Okay, example 啦。Okay, like this， 你一定要画虚线。因为这个虚线你才可以拿到分，因为它是那个 interpolation. So when drawing this dotted line, you get 1 mark, okay? Because you show to us how you got the data. 你 show 出来你怎么样拿到那个 data, okay? And then 最安全的你标上去那个 point, like here 45.0.18.所以如果 example 啦，我要重新去量的话，至少我已经有一个 reference 在这里了，我已经有一个参考答案在这里 ，okay?And then you must remember, pay attention to your y-axis and your x-axis, because if you do not pay attention and then if you do wrong, like just now, 你放0.1包，你的答案就错了。Okay, so you don't make this silly mistake. Alright. And then what else? Skill. Okay. Then here would be your best fit. Okay, even. Okay, scale even, best fit even. Okay, need the label even, and then all the points correctly labeled 1 mark. So 4 marks there. Okay, so remember, when they say based on your graph, 就算你的答案可以 calculate 出来，我们不要这样子做，因为 question you specify based on your graph， 一定要 based on the graph。So when they say based on the graph, meaning that you must do something on your graph. What do? You either interpolate or you extrapolate. But 通常 extrapolate 没有啦，extrapolate 有，我们 SPM 真正的考试 extrapolate。刚才我讲那个 curve 嘛，对不对？他叫我们加长那个 curve 去 determine 那个 amount of volume required. So that is extrapolate. Like this question is interpolate. So you just based on the graph. Okay, and then don't forget, final answer must have unit. Alright, okay, then lastly, if this kind of predict, 记得 predict also is based on your graph. But this one, you can choose to draw or don't draw the dotted line. 我的建议是 draw 啦 because predict is based on the graph. 因为还有讲吗 on the graph, so based on your graph. 那么好像刚才这个情况，如果你 predict 不到怎么办？You can ask for another paper, you draw another graph. 那么你要怎么样 draw？ 你就缩小它的那个 x value x axis 的 value。Okay, so this is the technique 啦。Alright, so your answer is predict. 那么你的 prediction 哦，一定要 logic. Like just now we said 0.22 is 50 degree, right? 所以没有可能是0.21啊，或是0.20，没有可能的，一定是大过0.22。那么你就 agak 咯那个 prediction, so you get 1 mark. Okay, and then they ask you to explain. When they ask you to explain your answer, 你不要这样紧张。When they ask you to explain your answer, meaning that you explain based on theory. So here we know that 60 degree is higher temperature. What is our theory? Temperature is higher, rate of reaction also higher. So you just write that answer. The higher the temperature, the higher the rate of reaction. Then you get 2 marks. So 这样子哦，随随便便你就拿到了满分15. You already get your 15 mark. 15 mark 就是这样子来的。Okay, so don't worry. Okay, it is not as difficult as you think. It's actually very easy. Alright, senang je. Okay, 因为这个阿玛丽你要记得啦，阿玛丽是送分给你的嘛 ，OK， 是送分给你的，所以你要争取这个机会。Alright, so anyone have any question? Anyone got question? Okay, 因为我大多数已经讲到很清楚了啦 ，operational definition, okay, relationship, and then don't forget you must tick tick your apparatus, check your apparatus. 他给你时间 check 就是真的拿来 check 的你不要以为讲OK 啦，我相信 lab assistant 他应该是准备完全部东西给我，不是这样的，你要真的去 check 那个 apparatus, each and every one, material apparatus, just to make sure. For chemistry, the graph scale can use only factors 1, 2, and 5, right? Yes, it's same like your physics. Physics 也是一样。But 其实chemistry 我 so far 没有听过这样子的要求啦，因为主要的是我们看到你的 scale is uniform 就可以了。But 最安全的话，你一律咯1、2、5 for all physics, bio, chemistry. Okay, good question. 因为我记得我那一年我是没有跟着的 for chemistry， 我有放0.3、0.6， 因为我的 data 就是0.3、0.6 那种，所以我就跟着 data 去 plot 我没有管了，因为我没有时间去管了。你要记得you only have 45 minutes to do this experiment and record data and write everything, plot graph. 你是没有时间去想东想西的。For the table only write 2 decimal place. Yes, as I mentioned just now, same like your maths. However, 2 decimal place is only for the calculation part, like 1 over time. 1 over time 是你 calculate 的 so you can put 2 decimal place. But 为什么 when the time taken here I put 1 decimal place? Because the thing that you measure, 你去量的东西 benda yang kamu ukur mesti ikut radas, must follow the equipment that you use. Example like here, time taken, 我会用什么去 measure? 我用 stopwatch. So in stopwatch, the smallest interval is 0.1 second. So meaning that my answer can only have maximum, not can only have, must have 1 decimal place only. 你不可以写 9.50. 为什么？因为我的 stopwatch 不能够量 0.01 second, 只可以量到 0.1 second. So you must base on your measuring apparatus. As I mentioned just now, 你要记得 data 很危险，一定要 base on your measuring apparatus. Like temperature, 为什么还拿1个 decimal place? 因为还用 thermometer. Thermometer 它最小的 interval 是多少？ 0.1 degree Celsius. So you must follow your measuring apparatus. If you suka hati put 2 decimal place, you will get 0 mark. 你只会拿到3分在这里罢了，这里没有分。Okay? So remember, table 的 data 很准确 based on your measuring apparatus. 你上了大学也是跟这一样的 concept, based on your measuring apparatus. Okay? 所以有时候你的 stopwatch 不一定是 0.1 的，可能是 0.01. That's why I said based on your apparatus. Follow your apparatus smallest value. 最小的 value 那个就是你的那个标准。Okay? So I think that's about it. Any more question? regarding graph, table or your way of answer. So remember operational definition to Mahwita is like this what you do and what you observe. What you observe and what you did. Okay? So I think any more question?
Hai Adrian.
Oh,
Hai
ha.
semua. Cikgu Afika sini. Dengar tak?
Dengar.
Saya tak masuk dari awal tadi Adrian. Saya atas jalan on the way ke Wang Semaju dari rumah saya.
Oh, okay.
Saya tak tengok dari awal. Cuba Adrian pergi ke page. Okay, decimal point tadi you all ingat bureau reading 2 decimal point. Lain-lain mostly semua 1 decimal point unless bureau reading and one more voltmeter. Voltmeter can get to either 1 decimal point or 2 decimal point. It depends on the meter for the voltmeter. Other than that, only bureau reading. So I dream cakap tadi dah betul lah. Then kat graf tu tengok. Saya kena stop dululah kereta saya. Sekejap Okay, one more thing, graph. Okay, size must be bigger than 50%. Okay, nanti you tengok your data. Kalau data tu dia ini graph menegak tau. Nanti you tengok scale tu mesti betul. Tengok Adrian buat tu 10, 20, 30, 40 scale sesuai, kena seragam, uniform. Okay, y-axis 0.05, 0.110. Okay, let's say nanti your data maybe dekat paksi Y tu yang you kena data yang panjang. So you buat landscape lah. Okay, pandai-pandai you adjust. Okay, graph mesti lebih 50% lah. Kalau tak, tolak markah. Okay, kertas 3 ni actually senang lah. Tapi cuma you kena tahu teknik saja. Contoh cara jawab, operational definition, state the relationship, state the observation, state the variables, manipulated variable, responding variable, fixed variables, take inference, make inference based on the observation, hypothesis. Semua-semuanya berkaitan dengan kertas 3. So sometimes theory, if you're not strong enough for the theory, still actually 90% lah about the technique. Macam mana you punya science process skill. You dah buat eksperimen, you dapat data tu, and then macam mana you jawab soalan. Yang ni dia punya satu ni dia soalan dia Adrian.
Kenapa?
Satu 1/time versus temperature
sebab soalan dia macam ni, tapi skema dia bagi temperature against 1/time. So saya ikut soalan.
Soalan dia ialah
1/time against temperature.
Sebab temperature tu ialah apa yang manipulated variable.
Yes.
Okay, best fit ni tak semestinya garis lurus tau. Kalau you nampak macam pattern dia adalah curve, then best fit you adalah curve punya line lah, curve punya pattern. Contoh ada, saya dah bagi Adrian dapat buka tak kalau saya bagi dekat Adrian
Yang soalan tadi tu
sekarang dari Telegram.
Boleh.
Awal yang
saya
tadi.
boleh buka.
Kejap saya kena cari balik sekejap. Mana ni? Soalan yang saya bagi mula-mula ke Adrian tu dia macam susah sikit tu. Saya cancel, takut you all macam confused pula. Itu soalan SPM 2018. Soalan tahun lepas lebih kurang macam tu. SPM sebenar. Sekejap sorry, sekejap.
In the meanwhile, anyone have question can ask. Siapa ada soalan? Graph for chemistry tak semestinya nak start from origin kan? No, not always. Like I said, like last year, my question was the curve, right? The curve cannot start from zero. It's different from physics. Physics, you must start from zero, right? Based on the relationship. But for chemistry, it's different.
Dapat buka dah Adrian?
Oh,
Saya dah
ada.
hantar dah.
Okay, sekejap.
Ni soalan sama. Masya Allah. Tak lah. Soalan sama ke saya bagi tu? Amsyah angkat telefon cakap kat Papa Mama Google Meet dengan student jap. Betul tak saya bagi tu?
Lain.
Soalan lain. Saya bagi jawapan ke soalan tu?
Soalan.
Okey. Tak nampak tak curve ni? Ni saya rasa lebih kurang soalan Adrian tahun lepas ni.
Tak.
Dapat curve macam ni kan?
Kita tak ada. Yang ni soalan macam lain je. Ini pasal alloy.
Lain. Ini ialah titration tapi dia guna temperature. Tahun lepas tak silap. Yelah tahun lepas. Try temperature kan? Tapi dia bukan heat of reaction, dia ialah neutralization. Ni soalan format lama. Okay, just saya nak tunjukkan graf tu. Pergi dekat graf.
Kita tak ada graf lah yang ni.
Ni graf dia. Ini graf dalam soalan. Atas tadi.
Tak ada. Soalan salah
Oh, soalan salah ni. Ini soalan dia. Saya bagi skema sekali lah. Adrian ada ambil kehadiran dah?
Belum. Yang ni.
Kan? Betul tak? Lebih kurang.
Yes. Last year keluar macam ni lah.
Dia ambil SPM 2018 punya, tapi dia olah lagi lah soalan dia. So ni lengkung macam ni kan. Kalau you dapat lengkung tapi ada satu titik maksud you nak lukis lengkung yang lagar satu titik yang lari sikit, you cuba repeat yang titik tu sahaja. Kalau masih sama, buat best fit ikut yang lengkung. Sebab ni soalan skema, ni soalan dia dengan result. Betul tak lebih kurang? Kan?
Tapi tahun lepas graf kita dapat macam ni je. Sekejap. Dia dari sini lengkung sampai sini. So ramai orang agak-agak lah jawapan betul ke tak. Sebenarnya betul je.
Betul. Lepas tu ada soalan lagi. Kalau ni ke
yes.
berapa ni value kan?
Panjangkan
so
lah.
kena tarik lagi lengkung tu. Panjangkan lengkung tu. And dapat lengkung lah.
And then they will ask you the maximum point tahun lepas. Tanya maximum point tu apa maksud dia?
Maximum point. Ini soalan end point kan?
Dia tanya value maximum point tu sebenarnya apa? So jawapan dia end point dia lah.
Jawapan dia ialah end point. Nampak? Kalau soalan yang you buat eksperimen, dia bagi you range value. So you jangan risau. You buat betul dah. You memang buat betul dah. Dia ada range value yang diterima, especially when comes into the titration data. Kalau soalan titration lah. Okay, so I think itu saja kot Adrian. Ambil kehadiran ketua kelas semua ada tak dalam ni? Ataupun buat Google Form tu.
Nanti saya buat Google Form. Lepas tu saya share dalam Telegram tu lah. Yang hadir tu isilah.
Isi semua yang hadir. Forma ni siapa?
Okay, graph for chemistry tak semestinya nak start from origin. No, not necessarily. Next week guided or unguided. Itu Puan Nur Rafiqah je yang boleh jawab.
Tu guided.
Okay. Then do everyone do the same experiment? Yes. Semua satu Malaysia will do the same experiment in SPM. And then does the graph drawn need to be more than 50%? Same. Yes, mesti. Just now already mentioned, the size must be 50% more than the graph paper. Okay, any more question?
Graf Adrian yang tadi cuba share dengan skema tadi. Yang skema yang saya bagi tu.
Okay, jap.
Dia kena 50% tu kalau boleh biar tengah-tengah graf tadi.
Sebab
0.05.
skema tu dia dah salah axis dah.
Oh, salah axis.
Ah.
Betul. Tapi salah axis pun dia tetap position dia boleh jadi tempat yang sama.
Still the same lah.
Kan? Okay.
So in the end you all kena pandai-pandai lah tengok size graph dia. Pandai-pandai adjust.
Pandai-pandai adjust scale tu. Nampak scale jauh sangat tu, you kena adjust. Nak kecilkan scale atau besarkan scale supaya graf tu jadi just nice, more than 50% of the graph size.
For the relationship, can I write when the MV increases, the RV increases? I suppose can, as long as you got tunjukkan teori dia. Best fit line no need to touch Y axis and X axis, don't have to. It's different. The best fit line here is different from physics. Physics have to cut, or MS also have to cut. But for paper 3, chemistry, best fit dia tak semestinya potong Y axis.
Betul. Dia tak semestinya kena sentuh paksi Y, paksi X tu. Kalau data tu kebetulan sentuh, then sentuh lah. Apa soalan tadi? When increase. Betul, manipulated variable increase, then responding variable increase. Boleh tulis macam tu. The higher, or when increase, when RV increase. But please state the MV first, then followed by RV. If like this, when the temperature increase, the rate of reaction increase. Boleh, or the higher the temperature of the sodium thiosulfate solution, the higher the rate of reaction between sodium thiosulfate solution and the acid apa ni? Sulfuric acid. Temperature tu you kena state lah, temperature of what substance. Tak boleh temperature saja. And then kalau soalan macam thermochemistry kan, you buat responding variable heat of displacement, for example, heat of displacement. Sometimes you ada juga tulis temperature. Temperature salah. Memang kita baca temperature, but temperature, highest temperature or lowest temperature minus initial temperature. So kalau temperature, change in temperature, correct. Heat of displacement or heat of neutralization, or change in temperature or temperature change. Kalau soalan thermochemistry lah. Ini rate of reaction. Okay, esok saya tak bagi tahu topik apa yang masuk. Itu saja kot, Adrian. Saya nak sambung drive kereta.
Boleh.
Ya, nanti jangan lupa isi Google Form untuk kehadiran. Adrian, thank you so much.
No problem.
saya keluar dulu
Okay.
Good luck everyone. Good luck. Take care.
Okay, so remember lah the tips. 所以它不一样，你不一定要碰到 y axis 或者 x axis for paper 3 the graph not necessarily need. For physics yes lah，因为 physics 我们要 calculation, but for chemistry no. Chemistry and bio usually no. Okay, so any more questions? 哇，没有想到啊，准一个题目我们用了1个小时半。Any more question? So it's good lah. Your paper is guided. So you just follow the steps you go and do. Okay? If no questions, then I think that's about it for today. So later I will send the Google form into the group, and then I will share to Edward lah. 我 share 给 Edward. Okay, 因为百荣不是我 share 给 Edward. And then those that got join this class, only you fill in the attendance. Okay? Alright. Okay, good luck for your Amali paper. Goodbye. Okay, bye.